want to create a family compound?
You can choose a giant flexible barndominium that you can divide into several living spaces, or create your own village with a cluster of tiny homes. Today we'll share the top pros and cons of each and give you a tour of this beautiful barndominium. Hi, I'm Alexis.
And I'm Christian, and this is the Crescent Butte Barndominium in Crescent, Oregon.
While it's true that we mostly feature tiny homes on wheels on our channel, we also enjoy sharing alternative small space homes because there's no one size fits all when it comes to creating your own dream simple life.
So you're probably wondering, like me, what the hell's a barndominium?
Well, it's a multifunctional custom home with the living quarters, a condo if you will, combined with the durability and functionality of a large attached barn or workshop.
This barndo has an oversized 2-car garage that's being used as storage space and a mudroom.
I know some folks refer to a barndo as a big open concept home built inside a barn structure, but today we're looking at the original barndo concept, the shouse, if you will, shop house. It's a real term, okay? And that features a small apartment built inside a large shop space. All right, let's take a look inside this beautiful barndo with 2 small apartments. Welcome inside this 475 square foot studio apartment.
The footprint of a barndominium is usually pretty big, but they're usually broken up into different spaces.
And that's really the beauty of it. You divide it up based on your family's priorities. It could be multiple living spaces like this one with a workshop, a space for horses, a rec room. I mean, there's endless possibilities.
And it doesn't mean you can't change the spaces. Like this used to be a smaller garage, hence why there was a garage door back there. And they decided to change it into a little studio.
It's a very simple, efficient studio, but it lives large because you have 10-foot ceilings and quite a bit of open space, which can feel even bigger when you put the Murphy bed away. Across from the Murphy bed is a large table, which is perfect as a home office area or a crafting space. There's also enough open space over there to add a wardrobe. And the thing about this space being so open and a perfect square is you can change it however you want.
I always like to move my furniture around and just, move the TV over here and check it out and see what it feels like. The builder opted to do a little kitchenette over here with a big fridge as opposed to a full kitchen, which this has given me real man cave vibes. So it makes it a little tougher for someone to live in here full time, but it's not absolutely impossible.
Oh, and for people who don't like to cook that much, it's probably fine. You got a toaster oven, you got a microwave, and you might notice it's missing one important detail. You can find a utility sink in the laundry room that can double as a kitchen sink.
So what I'm thinking is the laundry room and bathroom are already there when this used to be a garage. That's more than likely why it's set up like this. And since this was the only room available for a kitchenette, they just went small.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
But the bathroom definitely doesn't feel tiny. It's full size, lots of storage space, and a spacious shower.
So personally, if I were to do a barndominium like this, I think I would change some things a little bit, put in a full kitchen over there, take the garage door completely out, because my mom would not stay in here if there was a garage door.
Though I think my 19-year-old son would love this space.
Oh, totally, yeah. Small man boy cave.
Well, on that note, let's take a look at the apartment upstairs. Welcome inside. This is 700 square feet of living space, the upstairs apartment in this beautiful barndominium.
A couple of things that make the loft up here really nice is that it has kind of tall ceilings. They're probably like 10 feet tall, so it makes it feel open and airy. And even though there's 3 windows in here, one is a big sliding glass door, and it's letting a ton of light in here.
Yeah, and it has gorgeous views of the mountains out here and a great little covered deck. So this is just a very livable layout.
So this apartment is about 700 square feet, and the living room, kitchen, dining area is like 250. But they've packed a lot of things in this little area. It's pretty great.
Yeah, without feeling cramped.
Yeah.
And for instance, this full-size kitchen. As you can see, there are full-size appliances, the fridge, the range, and the dishwasher. And for a lot of apartments, a lot bigger than this, the kitchen is not this big. I, as a home cook, really appreciate the amount of counter space in here. And they maximize the space full of storage, from these tall cabinets to a lazy Susan in the corner. One of my musts in a kitchen is to have a window above the sink so that when you're washing those dishes, which can be really monotonous, you can have a nice view while you do it. Before we continue with the tour, I want to share about an important topic. It definitely is for my parents. There is just a week and a half until the Medicare Advantage open enrollment ends on March 31st. So if you or someone you care about is on Medicare, please hear me out, because we all know it's super confusing. Chapter is an unbiased, independent Medicare advisory service. That means they always advocate for you, not the insurance companies. That is so important. And the great news is it's completely free. Chapter is the only national medical advisor that compares every plan, so you can make sure you're seeing all the options. If you're on the right plan, they'll tell you, but if not, they'll help you switch. The proof is in the pudding, as my dad likes to say. Chapter has saved the average senior over $1,100 a year. So if you want unbiased help with Medicare, give Chapter a call at 888-684-9724. You'll talk to a real person who will help you figure out exactly what's right for you. No pressure, no gimmicks. Again, it's completely free. So call them today at 888-684-9724. You can find the number in the website link below or scan the QR code on the screen. So this is an L-shaped layout, which is one of my favorites, and that is because it makes for a great pivot from the oven to the sink and to all the items you need while you're cooking. I also like this because someone can be doing the dishes while I'm cooking. I mean, the way it is now, this is like a, 3-4 butt kitchen. So a lot of people can be here at the same time. However, if you found that you needed a little bit more workspace, you could put a tiny kitchen island on wheels here, which would even improve that pivot distance during food prep, but it would reduce the butt size maybe down to 2 butts. So after you cook up your meal, you could take it over here to this beautiful dining nook. This is a gorgeous live edge slab of wood that makes a great dining table. I'd say it seats 6. And the builder maximized this space by making this a storage bench, which is great for storing all kinds of bulky items. And one thing you'll notice about this apartment compared to the studio, there's just a small kitchenette, where up here you got the full-size kitchen, you got this spacious dinette. So if I was living in this barndominium, say my adult son is downstairs, or maybe my best friend, this would definitely be the place that we'd come to share meals occasionally or a game night. So what defines this living area from the rest of the space is this lovely area rug and super comfy large L-shaped sofa. I love the cozy vibes of this little living room, especially with this great fireplace in the corner, and it gives it a really natural place to mount your TV. But what really makes this space so great are the treehouse vibes. So you lay here on the sofa and gaze out at the beautiful mountains across the way, and you have this indoor-outdoor living vibe because you got these big glass doors that go out to a covered deck. It's really great for use year-round. Here, it is a colder climate, but we have so much sunshine that you can enjoy your coffee out here no matter the season. And if it was me, I definitely would add a hammock chair as a great reading nook to really maximize those treehouse vibes.
So coming back from the kitchen living room area, this is kind of the entryway that you come in. This is actually a little hallway, One of the great things to do when you have a small space is to use as much of it as possible. And they did that here by creating this little desk office nook. And right here, there's also a large closet. So you can put all your jackets and shoes and odds and ends things, your vacuum, all that stuff that you need in there, which is the right thing to do to maximize your footprint in the house. Otherwise, this would just be a big empty hallway. But back this way are the bedroom, and right here is the bathroom. So to keep a cohesive look of this place, the countertops and the cabinets are the same as inside the kitchen, which is really nice. So in the bathroom, it's also continuing the real high ceilings. It gives you room to put things like a big cabinet in here. And also there's a full-size bathtub with a tiled shower. One thing I think is really cool in here is they have a fan that has a light around it, but the light you can change to a night light. So it changes a couple of different colors. And I think that's great because we're really into mood lighting, having a lot of lamps on in the living room, and having a light like that in the bathroom is really awesome to me. And over here is the bedroom. So this is a huge bedroom for such a small apartment. What's crazy is it fits a king bed and also a twin because it's an Airbnb. If it wasn't, you could turn this whole wall into a big closet because there's a closet right there and then this alcove space. So that could make an absolutely massive closet. A couple of the nice things in here are both of these beds are storage beds. So they got drawers underneath, which is just great. And 2 sconces on either side of the bed with dimmers. Finally, do everything on dimmers. If you have a light in anywhere in your house, put it on a dimmer. And another nice thing is the ceilings continued into here with the peak. So it's like 10 feet tall. So that's really nice.
Okay, for all you looking to do a friends or family compound, you got 2 great options. You got a barndominium that could be divided into multiple living spaces, or you can put multiple tiny homes on a piece of property.
Now, the reason why family compounds have kind of become more popular is because it's expensive out there.
Sharing resources by going in together with friends or family to buy land is a great way to save money and to have a high quality of life, enjoy a sense of community, but the key is to also create a sense of privacy. You know, for long-term success of any shared land situation, you want to have your own private space of retreat too, while you can enjoy having common spaces to come together.
The biggest con for tiny houses on wheels are legal issues.
We're talking building codes, zoning restrictions, and a lot of places are considered RVs, and most places have restrictions on how long you can stay in an RV. Now, of course, going to rural areas is easier for tiny homes, but you can still face quite a bit of restrictions. On the other hand, a barndominium can much more easily meet local building codes and is more likely to be accepted, and local zoning laws, those are the ones that tell you what you can place where.
But a lot of people think tiny means cheap, and that really isn't the case because you're taking all the utilities, appliances, and things of a standard size house and putting them into a smaller footprint.
Yeah, the most expensive
parts
of building. So your price per square foot is going to be pretty high. And for a lot of folks, that's worth it because you can afford higher end finishes in an itty bitty space more than you could in a larger home.
So if you want that Viking stove, you can do that.
The footprint of barndominiums is much larger than a tiny home, but is actually pretty cost efficient. There are lots of fairly affordable metal kits that you can start with for the shell. And after that is where the price can vary greatly depending on how much of that space you're going to dedicate for a living area, and also, of course, what kind of finishes you're going to do and how much you're going to do yourself.
Ultimately, building a 2,200 square foot barndominium with 2 living spaces could actually be about the same cost as 2 tiny homes with an outbuilding that's a garage.
Which is kind of crazy when you think about it, because you have so much more interior space to work with the barndominium, because you have that large flex space that you could use for a shop, to house horses, a rec room, storage space. I mean, the options are endless. And then with the 2 tiny homes, you're pretty limited on what you can do in a tiny home.
And both those examples include buying land and doing all the development costs.
And that's where there's a big price range, of course, depending on where you are in the country, because land in Texas versus California is wildly different. If you're really serious about creating a compound homestead with your friends or your family as a way to save money and to live more sustainably and simply, the good news is there are a ton of great resources out there to help you find land in different parts of the country.
One of the pros of having separate tiny homes is that you actually get your own space.
Yeah, it's more private because you have your own separate 4 walls, whereas in a barndominium, your apartments are separate, but there could be sound transfer, especially if you're using your flex space for something like a shop.
In the end, it's really what's most important to you.
And what you can afford, and maybe what you can afford up front. Because if you're able to find land that has flexible zoning and maybe no building standards, you could maybe just put 1 tiny house on it and slowly build it out over time. Or you build that metal shell for your barndominium and slowly build out the interior over time.
And if you do it this way, you can build everything out for cash, so you can slowly build out your family compound.
Yeah, because once you have the land, take your time looking on Facebook Marketplace and buy nothing groups and salvage shops for good deals on materials that will save you thousands of dollars in the end.
So what would you prefer, a barndominium or a tiny house village? Let us know in the comments below.
And if you're looking for more small space design inspiration, watch the tour of this adorable farmhouse garage apartment right now.